What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Unhinged Talk. As usual, I'm Patrick Hennessy, joined tonight by the man, Sean Petrucci. How we doing tonight, Sean?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
I guess I'm all right. You know who's not doing too good? Luke Voit. Luke Voit's not doing okay, Sean. You know why? Because he's not getting the proper playing time that he deserves. And we're going to talk about that today. Because I think that we need to be advocates for Luke Voit. I think that someone needs to be an advocate for Luke Voit, saying why he's not getting playing time, dude. Why he's not in the starting lineup every single day. And we're going to tell you why that Luke Voit needs to be in the starting lineup every single day, no matter what. I don't care who else is behind him. I don't care who's in front of him. We're going to be rocking with that today. But before we get into anything, you guys know the deal. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on post notifications for more. We're going live before and after every single Yankees game this season, so stay tuned for all that content. But like I said, Sean, Luke Voit, there's a little bit of a predicament with him right now, and it seems like there's been a predicament with Luke Voit just about all season, right? It started off with the lack of health, and when he was on the field, he wasn't really producing. For whatever small amount of time he was on the field, he wasn't producing. But for the most part of the season, he was injured. He came back from the IL shortly after the Yankees acquired Anthony Rizzo. And, of course, like the Yankees media kind of just spewed a narrative that wasn't necessarily true, that Voit and Rizzo hated each other and Voit didn't want Rizzo on the team and all the nonsense. But Luke Voit has been on a ridiculous hot streak ever since Anthony Rizzo has come over and ever since Luke Voit has kind of came back and been fully healthy. If we're looking at Luke Voit's numbers in his last 15 games here, he's batting .368 with a .455 on base and a .711 slugging percentage, giving him over a 1,000 OPS in his last 15 games. But you know what the issue is here now. The Yankees refuse to find a way to put him in the lineup every single day, despite the fact that Giancarlo Stanton has proven that he could play the outfield on a consistent basis. And the fact that Anthony Rizzo is your everyday first baseman, Luke Voit should be your everyday DH, but that's clearly not the case. He was the Yankees' hottest hitter going into that National League Atlanta series, and he didn't play any of those. He didn't start any of those games because Rizzo was at first base and there's obviously no DH. But then going into Oakland, we kind of had hope maybe Rizzo would play every game here. Sits game one, plays the next three. Fine. We'll take it. But then the Angel series, Sean, sits the first two games. Part. Disgusting. The Angel series, there's no excuse for him not to be in the lineup as the DH. Sits the first two games and then finally starts the final game. And of course, 2-run single out of him. And he's probably one of the main reasons why the Yankees did win that game. So I think now we're all just kind of confused as to what the Yankees are doing with Luke Voit and why he's not getting the playing time that he rightfully deserves.
Let me ask you something. You think it's more of the Yankees don't trust Stanton every single day in the field, or they just want so badly to get Brett Gardner in the lineup?
For me, I would think it would have to be like a combination between the two, right? Because I'm looking at it from this perspective, and I'm trying to figure out all these scenarios in my head. It's like why it would make sense that the Yankees continue to use Luke Voit as a bench bat, despite the fact that he's one of their hottest hitters. And one theory that pops into my head that we obviously don't know whether or not that this is true, but Giancarlo Stanton did sit the final game of the Angel series. Yeah. Now, maybe that there's some secret little nagging injury that Stanton's dealing with, and that's why the Yankees aren't confident in putting him in the outfield. But that's the only reason that would make sense to me. And if there was a little nagging injury, why would they hide it rather than being like, oh, we're giving Stanton a day off? Which also doesn't make sense because why would you be giving Stanton, your hottest hitter probably, a day off the day before an off day? It doesn't make sense to me. That's why I'm like, it just seems like the Yankees might be coming with any sort of excuse as to like why they're not playing Luke Voit.
I was going to say, like, it's not even just one thing. It's like multiple, like one thing after another. And listen, if he was struggling, like he's coming back, he still might not be fully healthy. And then, okay, you want to keep him on the bench, you want to pinch hit him. That's fine. But he's like you said, he's like the hottest hitter on the team right behind like Stanton and Judge. Why is he not in the lineup? And you can't use we need the lefty bat of Gardner in the lineup. Like, no, you don't. We have Gallo and Rizzo now. And Velasquez switch hitters, so you don't need the balance.
Yeah, and also it's like you can't even use that lefty-righty excuse because on Wednesday, Packy Naughton was on the mound for the Angels. And guess what? Yeah. He's a left-handed pitcher. So then why would you not have your two righties in the lineup in Stanton and Voit rather than bringing in like Odor and Gardner and having them face the lefty? That's why it just doesn't kind of process in my mind. And then answering like your second question that you asked before, like about the whole Brett Gardner thing, whether it's the Yankees like feeling the need to put Brett Gardner out there every single day, I think that probably has like something to do with it.
Yeah,
I mean, we've been talking about this for years at this point. No matter what we say, no matter how poorly Brett Gardner performs, he's always going to be there. Brian Cashman even said after trading for Joey Gallo, Gardner's our starting center fielder. The only thing that concerns me the most is that in a playoff scenario that the Yankees are going to be like, oh, well, we're going to throw Gardner out there and Luke Voigt's more valuable off the bench. I don't care who's on the mound. I don't care if the best right-handed pitcher in baseball is on the mound. I don't care if you're going up against Max Scherzer. Luke Voit and Giancarlo Stanton both need to be in that lineup. So therefore, you have to put Stanton in the outfield and you have Voit as your DH. It's that simple. And also the thing is, when you have Luke Voit in your lineup, it makes the entire team better. Because on defense, you're able to put Stanton in the outfield. Having a defensive outfield of Gallo, Judge, Stanton is 10 times better than the outfield of Gallo, Gardner, Judge. It's the truth, bro. You're looking at 3 elite arms out there in the outfield. And then also lineup construction wise. I mean, I'm not one of those people who's like, oh, you need like a lefty, righty, lefty, righty, lefty, righty. If you have multiple righties, especially when it's like Luke Voit, Giancarlo Stanton, Gio Urshela, I'm more confident in that than if it's like Luke Voit, Rougned Odor, Gio Urshela. Like, you know what I mean? Just, I don't care about the lefty righties as long as it's solid players that are in their spot. So I think the team is much better as a whole with Luke Voit in there.
Yeah, I think it's just worrisome right now, though, because there's only a month left of the season, and we're seeing so much like with Luke Voit. We're seeing him more on the bench than he is starting nowadays, like in these weeks. So it's like, I just have a feeling it's going to happen. Like that first wild card game, we're going to roll out there, and Luke Voigt's going to be on the bench.
Can you imagine? I think I would actually.
You don't even have to imagine at this point. It's going to happen.
No, and that's what the sad part is like we don't have to imagine it because it's kind of becoming like the current reality of the Yankees.
It's right? Like, oh, Voigt's in the lineup today. Cool.
Yeah.
Surprise.
You know, exactly. And that's why like I have my little sign up here. Free Voit. Look, in the comments, hashtag free Voit if you're up to this part of the video. But like what I'm saying is like there's no reason. I'm sure if I'm Luke Voit, I'm pissed off right now.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Bro, especially when he's like red hot like this. It's like the Yankees are kind of setting him up for failure. And I hate to say that, but it seems like that's kind of what it seems like, bro. When you're not giving one of your hottest hitters consistent plate appearances, he's bound to get cold. Like, it's just as simple as that. And we know that Luke Voit's not the best defensive first baseman. So that's why I understand like having Rizzo start at first base. But there's no excuse to not having him DH. No excuse.
No, and like the saddest part of all this is Luke Voit publicly spoke out about saying like I deserve to play. Like he took a stance, and everyone kind of like gave him crap for that. But then he came out and he backed up his play, and then how does he get rewarded? Back on the bench.
Yeah,
it's like what does he have to do at this point?
But also, it's like when Luke Voit came out, and I think it was that same press conference or the one before that or something. He basically came out and he's like, I'm going to do anything in my power to help this team. Now, whether if that's starting, whether that's playing first base, DHing, benching, pinch hitting, I'm going to do whatever it takes to help this team win. And I think at this point, the best move for Luke Voit to help this team win would be the everyday DH. But for some reason, the Yankees don't realize that. And I still can't seem to wrap my head around that fact. And that's why I'm coming up with like these little theories in my head, right? That's why when I think about this, I'm like, well, the only way that this would make any sort of logical sense is if Giancarlo Stanton's hurt and he physically can't play the outfield. But we haven't gotten any sort of news that would kind of lead us in that direction. So I think that's why it's just a shame right now that we have to like just think of things like that. But let's think of a hypothetical scenario right now, right? Let's say the Yankees have to play the American League wildcard game, which 7 games back the division as of today, which is looking kind of possible, most probable,
most likely,
I guess.
Yeah, most likely.
And they have to go up against Chris Sale. Do you think that Luke Voit starts that American League wildcard game?
It would be a crime, an absolute crime if he does not. There's no excuse. Because like it's not even like he's just a regular lefty. Like he is a tough lefty with that, what kind of windup he has. So why would you start any lefty that's not named Gallo or Rizzo? Because it gets to the point where, like you said before, the player is just too good. You don't look at whether your bat's righty or lefty, like he's that good. But a guy like Gardner or Odor, it's like you do not put them in against a lefty like that.
Yeah, and that's why when I'm kind of thinking of like postseason lineups, I know the Yankees do like to favor defense a lot, but especially like when we were talking about Giancarlo Stanton in the outfield, Giancarlo Stanton does not come out of that game. I'm telling you right now, he does not come out of that game. I don't want to see any sort of scenario where like Brett Gardner's coming in as a defensive replacement in the 7th inning and leads Giancarlo Stanton to missing another at-bat. The narrative that Stanton is not good in the outfield needs to die right now. But
I don't know who started that, but
that's a topic. That's a whole nother topic for a whole nother video. But I think the bottom line of today's video is that Luke Voit is one of the best hitters on the Yankees as of right now. He's one of the hottest hitters on the Yankees, and I find it absolutely disgraceful. Said that in the last 10 minutes in many different ways. I find it very disgraceful that the Yankees are not giving Luke Voit everyday playing time, and he seems to be like on the back burner for them right now. And I think not only him, but I think everyone in the Yankees fan base has a right to be very frustrated that it doesn't seem like Luke Voit is getting this respect that he deserves from the New York Yankees.
Yep.
I think that's all it is. But with that being said, I think that is going to be wrapping things up for today's episode of Unhinged Talk. Appreciate you all for stopping by. You guys know the deal. Hashtag free Voit in the comments. I just want to see him play every day. I don't think it's too much to ask for. I love Luke Voit. And what I love even more before we do wrap things up here is whenever he does get an opportunity, it seems like he pisses on every one of his haters,
He does.
bro.
He
He
does.
literally comes in.
He did it again today.
He comes in so clutch every single time. So we love Luke Voit. Hopefully he gets some more consistent at bats. But with that being said, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications for more. You guys know the deal. We're going live before and after every single Yankees game this season, but you know that already. You know that. So stay tuned for that content. But stay happy, stay healthy, stay safe. We'll see you all next time. Let's go, Yankees. Peace. I'm leaving that in.